Cowboys Nation, things are starting to heat up in Dallas. And if you've been paying attention to how this defense has played lately, you know exactly why fans are getting frustrated. The Cowboys have talent, no doubt, but right now the product on the field just isn't matching what this roster should be capable of. It's been sloppy, inconsistent, and at times downright confusing to watch. You see flashes of dominance, and then suddenly everything falls apart, especially when it comes to getting after the quarterback and stopping the run. So today, let's talk about what actually needs to change for this defense to start looking like a serious contender again. Let's start with something that should be basic football logic. If you can't generate consistent pressure rushing for, you have to mix it up. Blitz a little more. Throw the offense off rhythm. Right now, the Cowboys just aren't doing enough of that. Against the Panthers, for example, they blitzed only 5 times. 5. That's it. On those rare blitzes, Bryce Young went 3 for 4 with a touchdown, but at least the defense forced some disruption. It's not about perfection. It's about creating chaos and forcing mistakes. When you're already struggling to stop anyone, you have nothing to lose by taking some risks. And here's the wild part. When they actually do bring pressure, the numbers say it works. According to next-gen stats, the Cowboys' pressure rate jumps to nearly 50% when they blitz. Without the blitz, it drops to the mid-30s. That's a massive difference. The sack rate almost doubles too. So why keep sitting back and pretending this front four can handle it alone? They can't. James Houston is about the only guy consistently creating heat. Everyone else looks a step slow, especially on third down. That's where the whole thing collapses. Quarterbacks are sitting comfortably, scanning the field like it's a 7-on-7 drill, and eventually somebody comes open. If you can't win with 4, at least make the quarterback feel it. Now let's talk about the run defense, because that's been even uglier. The fits are off, the gap assignments are a mess, and it feels like nobody's on the same page. The front 7 looks completely lost half the time. There were moments against Carolina where the math literally didn't add up. 3 tight ends lined up on one side, and somehow the Cowboys still sent fewer defenders that way. That's how you give up easy chunk runs. Dante Fowler got washed out of a play where the Panthers basically told everyone, hey, we're running right here, and Dallas still couldn't stop it. Linebackers were over-pursuing, defensive tackles getting shoved 5 yards downfield, and nobody seemed to know whose gap was whose. And that's not an exaggeration. Watching the tape, you see guys like Marshawn Nelland getting driven backward by tight ends. Tight ends. When that's happening, your interior is broken. Jay Tia, who's supposed to be a run stuffer, is making tackles 12 yards downfield. 12. That's not a tackle for gain. That's cleaning up after the play's already been lost. It's no wonder opponents are gashing them between the tackles. The defensive tackles aren't holding their ground. The linebackers are late, and the safeties are being forced to clean up plays that never should have reached them in the first place. So how do you fix it? One idea, and it's long overdue, is using more 5-man fronts. That alignment gives you an extra body up front, forces the offense to adjust their blocking, and can help close off those easy run lanes. The problem? The Cowboys are dead last in the league in using 5-man fronts. Less than 10% of the time. When they do try it, they're not even using the right personnel. You'll see formations where guys like Sam Williams are lined up at defensive tackle. That's not his role, and it shows. He's getting pushed around because he's undersized for that spot. You can't fix a structural problem with a schematic gimmick. If you're going to go 5 across, use real interior linemen. Mix in players like OSA, Motzi, and Clark. Big bodies who can actually hold the point of attack. But the issues don't stop at the line. The linebacker play has been brutal. Kenneth Murray is who he's always been. Athletic but unreliable. He's slow to read, late to trigger, and often fills the wrong gap. Shamar James is exciting to watch, but he's young and still learning. You can see the athleticism, but he's guessing way too often. Sanborn, on the other hand, might not be flashy, but when he's on the field, the defense looks organized. The stats don't lie. With Sanborn on the field, opposing teams average under 4 yards per carry. When he's off, that number jumps past 6. That's a massive gap in production. Right now, he should be starting in every base package. If Dallas really wants to take the next step, they need to either find a new linebacker or completely rethink how they're deploying the ones they have. It's not about replacing everyone overnight. It's about putting players in situations that match their strengths. Murray shouldn't be your early down anchor. He's built more for coverage and sideline pursuit. You want someone who can read the run instantly and fill gaps with authority. Maybe that player isn't on the roster right now, but if the front office is serious about fixing this defense, that's where they have to look. Then there's the secondary, and more specifically, Donovan Wilson. Something has to change there. Wilson is being asked to do things that just don't fit his skill set. He's a box safety, a tone setter, the kind of guy who thrives near the line of scrimmage where he can play physical and disrupt plays early. But for some reason, he's being deployed deep like a free safety. It's not working. Every week you see him caught out of position, late to react, or missing tackles in open space. He's not built to be that last line of defense. If the coaches insist on keeping him in the starting lineup, fine, but use him correctly. Drop him closer to the box. Let him blitz. Let him cover tight ends underneath, but stop pretending he could be your deep safety. And if that means giving someone else a shot up top, so be it. Try Elijah Clark. Try Maris Bell. Try anyone who can handle the space and range required for that role. Because right now, the Cowboys are getting exposed over the top far too easily. Every blown coverage seems to trace back to the same problem: Wilson being in a position he shouldn't be in. It's frustrating because it's preventable. The talent is there, the coaching adjustments aren't. Now, speaking of players who need a reset, Sam Williams is running out of excuses. The experiment with him just isn't working. He's undisciplined, commits too many penalties, and doesn't bring the consistent pressure you expect from a player in his position. Over the last month, he's been flagged multiple times, has only one quarterback hit, and a single sack. That's not good enough. Every time it feels like he's about to turn the corner, something goes wrong. Whether it's an offside penalty, a missed tackle, or just losing his containment, it's always something. He's athletic, sure, but football IQ and consistency matter just as much. At this point, the coaching staff has to consider reducing his snaps and giving those reps to someone who's earning it. James Houston, for example, may not be perfect against the run, but at least he's disruptive. He brings energy. He wins off the edge with speed and leverage. You can work around his limitations by using him in passing situations. Sam Williams, on the other hand, hasn't earned the benefit of the doubt. You can't keep rewarding mistakes. The defense needs accountability, and it starts with playing the guys who are performing, not the ones who just have potential. This defense has all the tools to be elite, but right now, they're their own worst enemy. The lack of discipline, the poor tackling, the predictable play calling, it's all adding up. Every week, it feels like we're watching the same mistakes on repeat. Missed fits, blown coverages, and zero creativity when it comes to adjusting mid-game. The coaching staff needs to wake up and realize that playing it safe isn't working. You're not fooling anyone with soft zone coverage and minimal blitzing. You're just making life easy for opposing quarterbacks. The thing about this Cowboys defense is that it's not lacking effort, it's lacking structure. When you watch the film, you can tell players are hustling, trying to make plays, but they're doing it without a clear collective purpose. One guy shoots into the wrong gap, another tries to overcompensate, and suddenly the whole front collapses. It's not that they're giving up, it's that they're freelancing, guessing, trying to fix problems that should have been solved through alignment and preparation. That's what separates a solid defense from a great one: discipline and trust. And right now, Dallas has neither. When you see the linebackers crashing into the same hole or safeties taking bad angles, it's not just about missed assignments. It's a reflection of coaching. The players don't seem confident in the plan, so they're reacting instead of anticipating. That's why you get these blown fits where a run that should have been stopped for 2 yards turns into a 12-yard gain. You watch Kenneth Murray hesitate, or Shamar James over-pursue, and it's like deja vu. Over and over, the same mistakes show up, which tells you it's not an accident. It's systemic. What's crazy is that the Cowboys actually have the personnel to play a more aggressive style. They have speed at every level. They have athletes who can fly to the ball, and yet they keep dialing up conservative looks that force them to sit back and react. This team was built to attack, not to wait. You can't have Micah Parsons on your roster and pretend you're a bend-but-don't-break defense. That's not his DNA, and it's not what makes this unit special. The blueprint should be about chaos, pressure, disruption, unpredictability. Instead, it's soft cushions, four-man rushes, and safeties 10 yards deep. That's not Dallas football. Part of the issue might be identity. Early in the season, the Cowboys' defense played with swagger. They flew around, celebrated big plays, and had that energy that made offenses uncomfortable before the snap even happened. But lately, it feels like that edge is gone. Maybe it's fatigue, maybe it's frustration, but whatever it is, the spark is missing. And when a defense loses its confidence, you can see it in every play. Missed tackles pile up, players hesitate instead of attacking, and communication breaks down. You can hear it in interviews. They know something's off, but no one's sure exactly how to fix it. It starts with simplifying things. Get back to basics. Stop trying to be clever with exotic fronts and unnecessary rotations that only confuse your own players. Line up, play fast, and trust your fundamentals. The great defenses don't overthink. They just execute with precision. Look at teams like Baltimore or San Francisco. They're not reinventing the wheel every week. They just know who they are. Dallas has to rediscover that. Because right now, it feels like they're trying to do too much while succeeding at nothing consistently. And let's be honest, the offense isn't doing them any favors. Long stretches without scoring wear this defense down. When you're on the field for 40 minutes, mistakes are inevitable. But that's even more reason to lean on identity and execution. You can't let fatigue become an excuse. You need leaders to step up, not just in the locker room, but on the field. Guys like Parsons, Lawrence, and Clark need to demand accountability. When someone blows a fit or misses a tackle, call it out. Championship defenses police themselves. Speaking of leadership, one player who really needs to find his voice again is Donovan Wilson. He's been a tone setter in the past, but lately he's looked lost. Maybe it's because he's being asked to do too much. Maybe it's the mental wear of a bad stretch. But the Cowboys need the old Wilson back, the one who hits like a hammer and sets the tone early. If that means reducing his coverage responsibilities and letting him play closer to the line, then so be it. Let him do what he does best instead of forcing him into a role he's never been comfortable in. And then there's Sam Williams. It's painful to say, but he's become a liability. He's not setting the edge, he's not producing as a pass rusher, and his penalties are killing drives. You can't be an every down player in this league when your biggest contribution is giving up free yards. Maybe a reset helps him. Fewer snaps, more specific situations, maybe even some film work away from the field to reset his mindset. But as of now, his undisciplined play is hurting the team far more than it's helping. If he can't clean that up, it might be time to look elsewhere. James Houston deserves a longer look. He's not perfect, but he brings a spark that's been missing. His explosiveness off the edge can create game-changing moments. When the Cowboys blitz, they need someone who can finish plays, not just pressure the quarterback. Houston has that ability. It's on the coaches to use him in the right situations, to let him do what he's built to do. If that means taking snaps away from someone underperforming, that's just part of the business. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Whispers around the league are growing louder, and it seems the Dallas Cowboys are not playing coy. The announcement of JARIUS SNEED joining the Cowboys has sent shockwaves through NFL circles, and insiders are already speculating that Dallas secondary could be about to enter elite mode. The move, still fresh in fans' minds, suggests a bold shift in strategy, one that could turn the Cowboys' defense into one of the most feared units in the NFC. SNEED, known for his aggressive coverage skills and uncanny ability to read quarterbacks, immediately elevates any backfield he steps into. Rumors suggest that the coaching staff sees him as a perfect fit alongside the current roster, forming a trio of defensive backs capable of shutting down even the league's most prolific passing attacks. This isn't just a signing. This is a statement. An anonymous source close to the organization hinted, adding that SNEED's presence could redefine the secondary's identity. Fans and analysts alike are buzzing with speculation. Some insiders suggest Dallas might finally have found the missing piece to compete with the juggernauts in the NFC East. The Cowboys' secondary has flirted with inconsistency in recent seasons, but SNEED's arrival could stabilize a unit that has long been searching for a game-changing playmaker. Rumors even suggest that defensive coordinator strategies are being quietly rewritten to maximize his versatility, potentially allowing for more exotic blitzes and tighter man-to-man coverage schemes. Of course, all of this is speculative, but the buzz is hard to ignore. Social media channels and sports talk shows are already imagining a Cowboys secondary that operates with surgical precision, a unit that could dominate rival offenses week after week. The locker room chatter reportedly mixes excitement with a touch of awe, veterans impressed by SNEED's reputation and young players eager to rise to the new standard. While it's early days and no one knows exactly how the season will unfold, the rumor mill is clear. Well, JARIUS SNEED could be the spark that pushes the Cowboys' defense into elite territory. If the whispers are true, opposing quarterbacks may soon find themselves regretting ever looking toward Dallas. In a league where one player can shift the balance of power, the Cowboys' latest move is making everyone sit up and take notice. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.